Every departure is always painful, and especially when it concerns our loved ones. Letting go is extremely difficult. For those who have faith, we find consolation that death is not the end of everything. It is just a temporary separation. And that was how Jesus also consoled his disciples. He said to them, "Trust in God still and trust in me. There are many rooms in my Father's house, and I'm going now to prepare a place for you." This is such a great consolation for the disciples to know that when the Lord departs from them, He is waiting for them, and that life has a definite future, that death is not the end of everything. When we have that kind of hope, then life makes sense on earth, even suffering. And we can accept death not as the end of everything, but as a transition to fullness of life. And even though we mourn and grieve for our departed loved ones, we also grieve with hope and joy for them. Very often we think of going to heaven. That is true, perhaps on the last day of our life on earth. But actually heaven is already brought to us. Whenever anyone who is in union with Jesus, he is in heaven. Heaven is where God makes his home in us. Heaven is when we are one with Jesus, sharing in his joy, in his love, and in his life. So already on this earth, anyone who shares the life of Christ, even when the person is suffering, just like St. Paul and the apostles and all the saints and martyrs, they already had a foretaste of heaven. So we do not have to wait until we die in order to know what is heaven. Heaven is already in us. That is why Jesus said there are many rooms in my Father's house. What are these rooms? We are the room. Jesus is asking us, will we make room for him in our hearts? When we allow Jesus to come and dwell in our hearts, Jesus brings heaven to rest. When the Holy Spirit comes down upon us, and when Jesus makes his home in us with his Father, then already we have this foretaste. And so the way to make our hearts a home for Jesus and his Father is through the sacraments. The Eucharist is the means by which we allow Jesus to abide in us and we abide in him when we eat his body and drink his blood. The sacrament of reconciliation, when we are healed, just like the sacrament of the sick. So through the sacraments, which is the work of the Holy Spirit, we come to possess heaven in an anticipatory manner. But most of all, the way to heaven has already been shown to us by Jesus. Jesus is the way. To come to Jesus is already to be walking the way of truth and life. There is no other way. And that is why Jesus said, no one can come to the Father except through me. When we know who Jesus is, then we know who the Father is. Because in Jesus, we know the love and mercy of God in person. In Jesus, we know what is truth. In Jesus, we find fullness of life. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, today we continue to deepen our faith in Jesus as the way, the truth, and the life, so that we will never be lost. But most of all, already in this life, we have a foretaste of the life that is to come. And for this reason, a Christian always lives in a certain hope. Not even death can shaken his faith in God. Not even death can stop him from living the fullness of life.